Hello everyone, today we're making 4 different no-bake desserts in cups. These are very simple but delicious desserts. They're perfect for a casual family tea time or for a celebration. They look beautiful and modern and they're very easy to make. Let's start with a very simple peach sorbet. You can substitute peaches with bananas, strawberries or any other berries and fruits. It will be delicious either way. Besides, this dessert is very healthy and light. Let's get started. I took these flat peaches, but they're delicious with nectarines. I won't add any sugar because the peaches turned out to be very sweet. I washed and dried them beforehand. You can also remove the skin, but I won't do that. I sliced them and laid them out on a plate lined with plastic wrap. I put them in the freezer for about 1 hour and 50 minutes to 2 hours. The peaches should be completely frozen. Now put the peach pieces into the blender. This is the perfect time to add sugar if your peaches aren't as sweet as mine. You can make the sorbet even more interesting by adding about 50 grams of Prosecco or any other sparkling wine you like. Now blend it until you get a smooth, creamy consistency. It's best to eat this sorbet right away. Now the peach panna cotta turns out very delicate, creamy and just sweet enough. Let's start by soaking the gelatin in water and set it aside for now. For the fruit layer, I decided to use peaches. It's peach season now and they're very tasty, sweet and fragrant. Of course, you can replace them with any fruits or berries or even use canned peaches. I washed the peaches and I'm cutting them into random slices. Now we put them in the blender and blend them. Additionally, I strain the resulting puree through a sieve for a smoother consistency. I take the gelatin, which I soaked beforehand, and put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. The main thing is not to overheat it, just to make it liquid. I add sugar and gelatin to the peach puree and mix it well. I placed the cups at an angle so that the jelly would set at an angle as well, but that's not necessary. I pour the peach layer and put it in the refrigerator for about an hour so that the top layer sets. For the cream layer, we'll also soak the gelatin in water. Take the cream, I use 20%, pour it into a saucepan, add sugar and put it on the stove. Stir constantly, bring the cream to a boil and let the sugar dissolve, but you don't need to actually boil the cream. Remove from the heat, let it cool slightly and add the gelatin. Mix well, pour the cream layer into the glass, put it in the fridge and leave it for another hour. Garnish with peach and that's it, the panna cotta is ready. The next dessert that's very loved in our family is tiramisu. It's a coffee and cream dessert. I'm not claiming it's the classic version, but believe me, this tiramisu is tastier than many I've tried in coffee shops. For the cream, mix 4 egg yolks with sugar, put it over a water bath and stir the mixture. We need the sugar to dissolve in the eggs. Add just a little water. The water shouldn't touch the bowl with the eggs, otherwise you'll end up with a sweet omelette. Now set the yolks aside to cool down a bit and meanwhile whip the cream. It should be rich and cold. Whip until you get fairly stiff peaks. This took about 5 to 7 minutes. Now I combine the egg mixture and mascarpone until smooth. I add the cream and mix it with a spatula. Our gorgeous cream is ready. The main thing is not to eat it at this stage because it's insanely delicious. This is a large portion, enough for 6 or 7 cups, or for a full-size cake like this. Let's assemble the tiramisu. I used instant coffee, but you can brew a cup of strong espresso. You can also add about 20 to 30 grams of aromatic cognac to the coffee. I won't do that because my kids will also be eating this tiramisu. Let's take Savoiardi cookies. By the way, let me know in the comments if you want the recipe for these cookies. They're very easy to make. Dip the cookies in coffee for just a couple of seconds. They soak up the coffee pretty quickly. Place them in a glass. Generously pour cream over them and repeat the process with the cookies and cream until the glass is filled with our delicious dessert. Personally, I recommend using less cookies and more cream because the cream is incredibly delicious. Let it sit in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. You can sprinkle it with cocoa and serve it. And last but not least is the cottage cheese dessert in cups. The kids devoured this dessert in seconds. Of course, delicious shortbread cookies, a cottage cheese layer and cherries. It's very simple and tasty. I'll use shortbread cookies as the base. Of course, you can bake the shortbread cookies yourself, but I'll use regular store-bought ones. I'll crush them in a blender into fine crumbs. We take smooth cottage cheese. If you have grainy cottage cheese, then pass it through a sieve or blend it in a blender. We combine it with rich cold cream. Then add powdered sugar and mix well again. You get a smooth, beautiful cream like this, and it's quite thick. Now I take a cup and put in some of the cookies, literally 1 spoonful at a time. Then I add some cherries, a couple of berries. I wash them beforehand and remove the pits. I'll set aside half of the berries for decoration and to put on top of the sauce, and I'll put the other half inside the dessert. By the way, you can replace cherries with peaches, sour cherries, pineapple, or many other berries and fruits. Now I'll smooth out the cream a little. Then the cookies, berries and cream, and we smooth out the top a bit so we can decorate it nicely. Let's make the sauce. For this, just take pitted cherries, simmer them until they're soft, and then blend them in a blender. You can add sugar, but my cherries are sweet enough on their own. I put a spoonful of sauce on top of the dessert and finish decorating with some cherries. That's it. All the very simple and quick desserts are ready. We enjoyed eating them all. The recipes will be below the video. That's all I have for today. This was your Sasha. Bye bye.